Now, one of the challenges that has confronted the global efforts to flatten the curve of the spread of the virus is conflict of information. The United Nations has now launched an initiative to share science-based and factual advice that will be celebrating the best of humanity. Secretary General of the global body, Antonio Guterres, sent out a message through his Twitter handle.
COVID-19 pandemic spreads. Another virus is infecting our lives: misinformation. Millions of people are being exposed to dangerous claims that COVID-19 doesn't exist, or that a miracle cure has been found, or that the virus emerged as a result of a plot to destroy humanity or make profits. A tsunami of hate, xenophobia, scapegoating and scaremongering has been unleashed. This infodemic is proliferating and potentially deadly. We cannot cede our virtual spaces to those who traffic in lies, fear and hate. Misinformation spreads online, in messaging apps and person to person. Its creators use savvy production and distribution methods. To counter it, scientists and institutions like the United Nations need to reach people with accurate information they can trust. That is why we are launching Verified, an initiative to share compelling, clear content, fact-based advice, and stories highlighting the best of humanity. With Verified, we can fight lies and conspiracies with science and life-saving health advice, hate speech with solidarity, despair with hope and with solutions for how to recover better. Good communication, safe.
UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres there. Now joining me to make sense of the situation and of course recommend better ways of having a focused and perhaps global intervention process is Dr. Sokefun Olushola, a visiting scientist from the University of Pavia in Italy. Good evening, Doctor. Thank you for joining us on TVC News at 10.
Thank you very much for having me. Good evening, Nigeria.
Oftentimes, what we have is distrust, confusion, being the lot of many who seem to be confused by the divergent views as it relates to the COVID-19. For instance, there appears to only be a thin line between what is the truth and what others consider to be a conspiracy theory. What do you make of all of this development in the face of a pandemic at this time?
Well, thank you very much for having a lie, very often told, after some time, begins to bear semblance to the truth. Science is such that there is no controversy about it. What is true in Nigeria is also true in Italy, it's true in Australia, and there are no controversies about it. COVID-19 is real. It has shown that the divisions that we have are artificial. There are no Muslims, no Christians, the rich, the poor, the handsome, the beautiful, the ugly. All sectors of human population is currently being ravaged by the pandemic, and it is real. And the earlier we come to terms with this, the better for us.
I think is responsible for the lag of time. For instance, we've heard of COVID organics in Madagascar. There is the story of hydroxychloroquine and the miracle that it has made for some patients of COVID-19, amongst many other cures. But the challenge here is, how long does it take to conduct a clinical trial? Why would you rubbish a concept and not give time to actually test its potency or capacity to do what it has been claimed to do?
We also have a problem with that. Why are we not testing ourselves? Why are we dependent on the WHO to test? Why is the government not challenging the universities to initiate the test? What is NAFDAC doing? What is the NCDC doing? Must we wait for the WHO to be our benchmark at all times? It's our fault. It's our fault. We are to blame for the slow pace at which organics are getting to be used in curing the COVID pandemic. If we are sure of what we have, there's no reason why we cannot set up test mechanisms in Nigeria ourselves, following best practices across the world.
An example, Doctor, is the use of chloroquine that has been used here for the past 4 decades. We're told that the Nigerian government is just about to begin a clinical trial months after this drug has been made popular. What do you think is responsible for the lack of willpower to be more innovative in the way we address this pandemic?
Well, for the hydroxychloroquine and the chloroquine, there are controversies. And as at the 20th of April 2020, due to varying regimes, disease severity, measured outcomes, and the lack of, the control in the experiment, the data remains very, very inconclusive. Of course, hydroxychloroquine is immunomodulatory and has been shown to be helpful in treating the COVID-19 because of the fact that it makes the blood alkaline and then stops the pH-dependent steps in viral replication. In principles, there's a need to put in place proper testing method for the hydroxychloroquine and then the chloroquine to see there must be a combination of things to do. It can't be done alone. You can't use the chloroquine or the hydroxychloroquine alone. Of course, nobody should also advise any infected person to begin to do self-medication. These are drugs that have typical side effects that must be used with proper supervision of a medical doctor.
Absolutely.
So in principles, yes. So in principles, the way to do it is to conduct proper tests and then come out with results that are acceptable worldwide.
We might have to leave it there, and we're hoping that Nigeria and indeed Africa will begin to look at more innovative ways to addressing this particular problem. Dr. Shokefo Olushola is a visiting scientist from the University of Pavia in Italy. Thank you for talking to us.